What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well. We are back today. We're going to be ranking every weapon and legend in Apex Legends post the mid-season 21 patch. A few changes have happened since the mid-season. We're going to go over everything. We're going to rank all the weapons, rank all the legends. We're going to talk about where the meta is. We're going to play Apex a little bit first, and then we will get right into it. So let's just hop right in. General ranks advice, though, I saw that question. Probably to try to get a fight as early as possible. Once the mid game comes along, it really just turns into a shit show. So I would say get an early game fight, get a few KP, then go for end game positioning. I don't really have a main. I just play every legend for content all the time. But if I have to like pick someone without any regard for like content, I'm probably picking Pathfinder. Stowe, good morning. Quads or solos? That's a tough one. I feel like I play the game mostly solo these days, but I feel like solos was not the most engaging mode, which is kind of what I expected. I'd probably pick quads. This is good. Spectating's new for me. Tried a few times. Yeah. I'm very aware, like, when you try something new on YouTube, like, it's not gonna be my best work ever. And I think it was good enough where I'd like to try it more. Sorry, these guns are not good. Bro's first time playing. Trying to find a character for my friend, has a low skill level, fits with Wraith and other legends. Other friend that plays support. Loba fits with anyone. I know you already got a support, but that's would be good. Bloodhound's pretty good, like really basic. Scans are always useful. I'd probably look at one of those two. Oh, sorry, kind of just went off.
Better not leave this upgrade waiting. Upgrade secured.
I need to like figure out a better place to put my chat. I feel like I'm starting to look at it. How about like in my tablet? How would I buff rework Ashe? I like her ultimate and I like her tactical snare. I think the ult needs to be easier to place. They buffed the distance. I think it could go even farther still. I think her passive is the weakest part, though. It's like not really needed. So I'd probably buff Ashe's passive somehow, or rework it even.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mid. I don't really want the alternator. Most fun thing I do in Apex? I'm not making videos. I feel like I don't really play the game when I'm like not making videos. Just don't have like that much free time, but I do enjoy practicing like movement tech and aim in mixtape. Been getting pretty decent at super gliding lately. I feel like figured out a few things with that, so I got a little bit better super gliding and zip jumping. I've been trying to learn to actually implement movement a little bit more. It's a good legend composition for gold plat. Probably want like support control and like a skirmisher or an assault. Probably go like Bang or Revenant or Horizon, and then do like Lifeline and Watson or Conduit or Catalyst.
Extra supplies here. I'll share.
J-Rod, appreciate the sub. My pleasure on the content. Again, guys, we're going to rank all the Legend of Weapons in about 45 minutes, I would say. Yeah, I play controller.
Better lock down and up.
Recharging shield. Don't worry about me.
Got an upgrade. Moving out. Let's go that way.
See if I can get my team to move so I can get a fight.
50% sniper shot here. Level 3. It'll take time off your reload.
Another energy mag.
Got an extended
Alright,
energy
we'll
mag here.
use
Level 3.
Flatline.
Gotta have
Try to get Hemlock.
boosted loader. Evac tower here.
Let's check out this area.
I'm just running solo. Typically, no, I don't play with viewers. I rarely stream, though. I mean, streaming's like pretty an anomaly for me right now in my life. I just had today off from work, and today's a holiday, so I figured why not. Plus, I've wanted to try to get like a more casual meta update video out, which is what we're doing.
We aren't in the ring.
Path's definitely viable on controller. I don't really think there's any... I mean, there's a few legends that are better on mouse and key versus controller or vice versa, but I think all the legends are pretty equal for the most part. Like, Seer is better on mouse and keyboard because you can pan around a little bit better with his passive, and Path might have a few more movement tech you can do, but for the most part, I don't feel like it doesn't matter. So this flap feel.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 3. Thieves.
Dead game for quads. I mean, there's 18 people, missing 6 people. Should make more spectating videos? Noted. Those that have come to on it, I mean, there's a lot of people that enjoy them, so I probably will. I'm in platinum now for a split, so I'll be able to do like a platinum perspective video. Hopefully. Pretty safe to say Havoc nerf didn't knock it out of the meta. No. I'm not really sure what they need to do with the Havoc. I almost feel like they need to adjust the fire rate or something.
Snapping.
An enemy on the rail.
Enemy over there.
Target's over there.
Being shot at. Letting rip. Reloading. Oh, down. Bad income shot though.
I ult make it to him. Just missed him. The rail thing.
Frag out.
Covered him.
Care package incoming. Y'all earned this. Throwing Arc Star.
Semi-grenade out. I'm spotted. Taking
We should be back, guys. I don't know what happened.
Down. Hostile right here.
OBS just like died. But I don't think it was my internet. But that guy got out of that.
Team left. Fast.
We're ranking like 40 minutes.
Just giving my shields a recharge. I'm crafting something for the
I had to lower the bit rate a little bit. It might be a little blurry. Advice for Bloodhound, man? Bloodhound, you gotta be really cognizant of where you are in relation to your team. In the ultimate, you can get really separated, so I'd say be really careful about getting too far away from teammates. Yeah, again, guys, we're gonna be ranking about 30, 40 minutes. 30, 35 minutes.
Think I'm crafting.
I'm crafting. Hold up now.
Enemy spotted. Near me. Giving him the chimney.
Recharging my shields.
I have my
Healing
ultimate.
up. You'll be
Nice.
right.
Reloading.
Say what? We're all inside this ring.
That's literally like one.
Over the chimney.
Here's your birthday gift.
Such an awkward angle.
Calm down.
Fuse loves to just go in there and die.
Double timing it. A broken enemy shield.
Now, magazine stand, matulog na siya.
Only one squad left. It's gonna get loud.
Opponent is close.
Solo, maybe? Solo Maggie? That's kind of weird. Not that many people at the end.
You are the Apex champions.
What do you think about the crypto changes? Pretty good for crypto. Everyone, today we're back. We're going to be ranking every weapon and legend in Apex Legends post the mid-season 21 patch. We are doing this live. A few changes have happened since the mid-season update, and the meta is constantly evolving and shifting. In addition to ranking all these weapons and legends, we're going to talk about the health of the meta, where I think the meta is going, what changes need to happen, and let's just get right into it. Alrighty, Alter. When the season first came out, I put her in A. I don't think Alter is staying there though. I feel like she's probably more of a B legend. This might change after I place a few of the others, but for the most part, like Alter's ultimate, I feel like no one really uses. It's a good like get out of jail free card, but Alter's ultimate like kind of forces you to play separately in some ways. So I think she's like a great legend in terms of like pub stomping, and she has a little rank viability. But for the most part, I think Alter's not an amazing legend right now. I feel like she's fizzled out. Ashe, I'm gonna put in weak. Straight up, I don't think Ashe is really worth your time these days. I feel like Ashe just doesn't have it. I don't know. She even got like a mid-season buff. Maybe she's a fine legend. Maybe weak is a little bit harsh on her. So I think we'll put her in fine for now. Like her ultimate is very good. Don't get me wrong. Her snare is not too bad, but I think her passive is just not needed at all. I will say Ashe can kind of dictate where you go in ranked, which is nice. You can either avoid fights or take fights based on where people are dying. But for the most part, I just don't see Ashe really being needed in the current meta. So I think we'll just leave her as fine. Ballistic, I'm going to put as weak, though. Ballistic is another like odd use case. He had a little buff at the start of season, but nothing really in mid-season. His tactical is decent at kind of locking down enemies and stopping fighting, but it's not as good as it used to be. They nerfed it. The ultimate with more ammo and faster reloads is cool, but I find more ammo is just not needed. And his third weapon sling is just also just not needed. He just has a lot. He has a lot of stuff that like is cool, but on paper it just doesn't work in the meta. Ballistic has a cool but useless kit. Yeah, exactly. Watson Gotcha or we fight. I probably will. Well, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But Bangalore is either S or God tier for me. She obviously had like a little bit of a nerf with her smokes in the midseason. Anyone within 20-25 range can now see players highlighted in smoke. I think it doesn't really change the way she functions. I think she's probably a God tier. She's best. She's in the meta fully. This isn't a ranked or a pub specific tier list, but I will say I do think Angler is probably the best all around legend, and she works in either mode quite efficiently. So yeah, I'm gonna put Bang in the God tier, best of the best. Bloodhound just had a nerf. Prior to this, I would have said these two legends hand in hand were insane. I don't know if I want to put Bloodhound in S or A. I don't think they're a God tier pick anymore. But like Bloodhound's effectiveness really only changed because of the Bang smoke nerf. So Bloodhound can't scan people or see people highlighted in the ultimate when they're in smoke anymore. I think they had a couple other small tweaks. I think maybe like high A tier, like top of A tier, maybe S tier. I don't really do plus or minuses anymore. I put Bloodhound like a borderline. If I could put him like right here, I think we'll put Bloodhound in the A tier for now. Yeah, A tier. Catalyst is one of those legends where it's mode dependent for me. So I'm not. If it was ranked, I'd probably put her up here or here. It's not ranked. This is just like a general power. It's gonna be between S and A. Would I rather have a Catalyst? Would I rather have a Bloodhound? For general playability, I'm probably gonna put her in A tier. I think she's another A tier. A lot of these legends for me, and this is how I go through it. Like you see weak, fine, great, amazing, insane. For me, A tier is pretty much like the mid level. Like all of these legends are good or better than that. B tier and under are the legends that I think need a little bit of like tweaking. So that's kind of how I look at it. Caustic, I think I had an S at the start of the season, and I did not fully realize how bad his gas got hit. I'm probably gonna put him in B tier. He's definitely better than Ash, but I'm not quite sure. I think I'll put him in B tier. I think Caustic's gas overall is like decent, just not that great anymore. You can kind of just run through it. It doesn't really slow people down. It doesn't hurt that much. So I think Caustic in B is fine. Dog she meta. I guess you're talking about Catalyst. S take, not gonna lie. I mean, it's my tier list. Sorry you don't agree. Conduit. Conduit's another legend who's very good as like a team playability legend. I think I would rather have Conduit on my squad over these two for general play. Obviously, if it's ranked, I want Catalyst. If it's ranked, I probably want Bloodhound. But I think in terms of overall play in the game, I think Conduit's probably an S tier legend. I might adjust this later on. I might drop her later, but I'm going to leave Conduit in S for now. So. Can walk right through that gas almost right now. Yeah, agreed. Conduit is, and will stay the best support legend so far. So Esther got here. Yeah, I think Conduit's still really good. Just getting like shields in a fight is crazy. You know, you get hit 200, Common gives you these shields. You get maybe like 50. Now you're a character with 275 total health. It's like kind of huge. Cat Bang Seer or meta? I mean, it depends on your perspective. Cat Bang Seer is like incredible for competitive Apex, but this tier list is not for competitive Apex. This is just general playability. Crypto. Crypto's another legend where it kind of depends on the player. I don't think Crypto is fine. I think Crypto is great or amazing, depending on the mode and how you're playing. Crypto is definitely not a pub legend, which is going to keep him out of A tier. I'm going to keep Crypto right at B. I think Crypto is better than Caustic. And Crypto can be better than Alter. But I think for the most part, most people are not really going to have what it takes to make Crypto great, which is not necessarily how you want to rank the legends. I just don't think Crypto has the same skill ceiling as these legends. It's kind of interchangeable here for Crypto. Who's my main? Pathfinder, I would say, but I play all legends for content. He might be a high B tier. Yeah, I agree. If you're ranking, again, like this is so dependent. Like I'm not making a ranked tier list. Like if you're in ranked, I think Crypto's an amazing legend. You can see who's around instantly by popping the drone now. It's pretty nice. I think for most people, I think Crypto is a B. Fusey. Fuse is getting a ton of notoriety these days due to the ALGS. Fuse is absolutely an A tier pick. And I think for general play, I want Fuse more than Bloodhound or Catalyst at the moment. I'm just trying to debate between A or S, and I don't think Fuse brings enough for like a overall like team comp playability. Like Fuse is great at pressuring legends and making aggressive plays, but he doesn't have any support in him. So I think we'll keep Fuse at A. Like he's a really good pub legend. He's great for farming damage if you want to get 4Ks. Ranked tier list one? I did a ranked tier list at the end of last season. You can check it out on my channel if you want. Fuse and A Mad Maggie is S. Fuse and A Mad Maggie and S. I'm not sure if I consider Mad Maggie to be better than Fuse, but we'll get there when we get there. Horizon, I think, is still an A pick. Probably somewhere here, I would say. Horizon's like such a weird legend to look at. She's the only legend in the game where I would say has had 12 to 15 nerfs, and she's still very, very good. For the longest time, she was absolutely here, but for now, I think Horizon's just an amazing pick. Horizon's not like a must-have anymore. If you're just pubbing it out, I think Horizon's probably an S legend. In solos, that just went away. She was absolutely an S legend. I think for the most part, she's an amazing, aggressive, like combat maneuvering legend. You say not comp tier list, but almost put Fuse S. I mean, I think Fuse is a very good all-around pub legend. What do you want? You don't need to like challenge everything I say, brother. It's just a fun tier list. We're just having a good time. Lifeline, I think I'm gonna put an S right now, which is really strange. It's very strange how Lifeline has had basically no adjustments. I mean, her upgrades, I guess, is what made her really tick. You can get a guaranteed gold knockdown now. You got that self-revive. But I feel like Lifeline is just too good to not have in ranked and too good to not have in pubs these days. Being able to get the team up while also pressuring people and also getting a guaranteed gold knockdown at some point is just so overpowered. Horizon's grab lift is still slow. Agreed. Horizon or Bloodhound? I think I want Bloodhound more so, but like I think Bloodhound is the better mix between ranked and pubs. I think Horizon's the better pub legend. That's what I would say. Can't wait for the rework. Yeah, I think it's coming next season. Might be getting a Lifeline rework next season. That was the rumor. I haven't really looked into what the kit involves. That's what I would say. I think she's getting a big change. We'll see if she stays relevant. I like the way she is right now, to be honest. She can be pretty frustrating though. Loba, I'm going to put in A also. I don't think Loba is better than these legends, and I don't think Loba is necessarily a must-need pick. So I'm going to put Loba kind of at the bottom of A tier. She's like a convenience legend. Off the drop, being able to see purple and gold stuff is pretty huge. It means you can target those items and go straight for it and get better loot than your enemies who are dropping with you. In pubs, it allows her to spend less time looting, which means more time fighting and improving. And in ranked, she can stay in buildings, get a lot more loot for the team, and you don't need to run out of heals or ammo. So I think Loba is a good all-around pick, just not necessarily need to have her. Don't really think Loba should be a support legend, to be honest. Well, if you look at her kit, she's got loot through walls, that's not really supportive. And she's got movement, and then with the tactical, and ultimate is helping the team and herself get stuff. Yeah, maybe she shouldn't be support, but she's not an assault legend. And I don't really think she's a skirmisher just because her tactical. Hard to say. Loba should be a skirmisher? Yeah, I don't know. She's like, it's like her and Mirage are both very unique. Like they don't really fit anywhere, in my opinion. Mad Maggie. I think I might have had Mad Maggie in S at the start of the season. I think with how prevalent Watson and Catalyst is in ranked and pubs, I do think there's an argument that you could put Mad Maggie in S tier when you are playing aggressively in ranked. But for general play, I think I'm just going to leave her kind of hand in hand with Fuse. It's weird how these two legends were kind of like linked together when they first announced Fuse, I believe it was. I think she was in Fuse's trailer, and then she came out a year later. They play very similarly, which I guess, kind of makes sense. But I don't think either of these are like the must-have overall pick legends, personally. Hulk says, her passive can support teammates if you're looking for something, and her ult definitely supports the team for Loba. Yeah, that's definitely true. Loba's passive also, like, you don't really need it after the drop. Doesn't really do anything. You think Maggie has more value than Fuse? I guess I would ask, why do you think Maggie has more value than Fuse? If you look at their kits, like Maggie's ball will displace enemies, so it's a little bit better, I would say, for like ground pushing and being in a fight. But both their tacticals do the same thing, and Fuse gets more tacticals without having to need an upgrade. Fuse can hold more grenades, where Maggie can, I guess, see people through walls for that split second. Shotguns aren't really meta, so I don't really consider that to be worth. Fuse can trap enemies. I think Maggie's ultimate's better. I think I would take Fuse's tactical and passive. And when the passive and the tactical are better than the ultimate, I think that makes them a better legend. Her tack can still work against Watson. That's very true. Yeah, Mad Maggie's tack can take out Watson ults. Very true. Through walls, of course. I guess I don't value her effectiveness against one legend, though, that much. So I'm going to leave her there for now. Mirage, our boy. God tier, right? No. Oh gosh, Mirage is like so odd to rank. Mirage is this case where his kit is really effective against lower skill players. If you go into a fight with everyone who's like a 0.75 KD and they aren't really great at aiming, they don't have the greatest game sense, like Mirage's clones will completely F them up. Like they don't understand who's the real Mirage. But as soon as you go up against someone who is like a plat, diamond, masters, or pred, they can pick out the Mirage, or should be able to pick out the real Mirage very easily. Like I never have a problem really telling who the Mirage is. So he's very skill dependent. Like if you're in bronze through gold, Mirage can be like an S or an A tier legend for bronze through gold play. If you're higher than that, he's like a fine legend. I think I would rather have Ash, and I think I would rather have Mirage over Ballistic. Unfortunately, I think I got to put him in C tier. I'm not really sure what Mirage needs to not be in C tier anymore. God tier, I suck. God tier plus, yeah. Mirage gets his own ranking up here. He's like so fun to play too now because his ultimate can come back every 30 seconds, which is just absurd for an ult. It's just like I don't even remember the last time I looked at a Mirage using the ultimate and like couldn't tell who the real one is. I feel like I just have so many hours in the game. Mirage just doesn't like phase me anymore. The worst part about Mirage is when he's used the ult or uses the tactical and you don't see him. The audio that his decoys give, I feel like messed me up more than actually looking at the decoys. He fools my low skill buddy every time. Yeah, I was watching someone play against a Mirage in a lower skill lobby, and they had no idea what they were doing against him. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny to watch, but we'll leave him in C tier for now. Newcastle. For the longest time, I had Newcastle in S, and I thought Newcastle was way better than Lifeline. I don't think he's an S pick anymore. I think Newcastle passive is good, tactical is great, ultimate is great. The passive like is what Lifeline used to be, but you can also move enemies. He's very frustrating to go against. Newcastle is definitely not an easy legend. I think for general play, I don't think you really need Newcastle. I don't think I would rank him higher than these. Definitely better than Loba. I do think a good Newcastle is like one of the hardest things to go against. If you get a Newcastle with the gold knockdown, and they know how to like bait that knockdown shield while rezzing, cancel it, do damage, revive them, like he can be actually crazy. He can be up here. He could even be up here. But I think for general gameplay, I think he's an amazing legend. He's definitely a good pick. Is he insane? I'm not sure. I think I'll put him up here. I'll put him a little bit higher. Would I rather have Newcastle than these? I think so. Would I rather have Newcastle over Fuse or Maggie? Not really. I don't think. For general play, again, this isn't like ranked or pub specific. I think just general power. That shield placement is high skill. Agreed. They need to rework weekly challenges, not limited to 3 legends per week, so you can play any legend and still get progression through the battle pass. Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like the challenge and battle pass system as a whole could use a little rework for sure. Yeah, S tier for ranked. Not sure otherwise. I think I agree with that for Newcastle. We'll put him in A for now. Octane. Ooh, man. Another OG. It's been 20 seasons since Octane came out, which is actually disgusting to even verbalize. So it's been 5 years since Octane came into the game. He used to be here, and then he got some nerfs, and then he was down here, and now he's down here. And I don't know. I think he's better than Caustic. I don't think he's better than these guys, though. Crypto or Alter. Octane got here. We got beef. It's like so difficult to place him in like a pub, running around killing everyone. I think he is like an S legend for just pure pub fun play and overall just gameplay. Like he is an S, but for actual like general gameplay, A maybe, B, A. Perks gave him a buff. I agree. Octane now has, you can get minus 10 stim damage, so his stim only takes 10 damage, which is huge. I just don't, he doesn't bring anything to the team. Like you can pad rotate, but what's a pad when you compare it to Pathfinder Zipline or like a Rev Tac or Valkyl Portal? There's so many better rotation ults. Nate asks, what's up? Tim, if you're dev, what changes would you help to make the game fresh? Oh, that's a loaded question. I feel like Apex Legends needs like a revival in content almost. Like Apex needs a huge season, in my opinion. Like this one legend, maybe one weapon, maybe or maybe not map changes, a year or 2 years for every map change is just not, or new map, just ain't doing it. I would love to see an Apex Legends season where they come out with like 3 or 4 legends. Like they adjust 2 maps and they introduce a new map. They introduce like 4 weapons. And no, that's never going to happen because that's just seems unrealistic. But if they market that as like, here's an Apex Legends, not 2, but like an Apex Legends expansion, and they introduce a lot of new stuff like that, and they actually tweak the meta, I think that could revive Apex. They need like a content bomb, in my opinion. Like they need to really change the game. We go through the game season to season, and like stuff doesn't really change. It kind of just stays the same. So I'd love to see a real content bomb in the game. To be honest, every game has gotten boring. Yeah, I kind of agree. Hard with that. I have a hard time playing any game these days. I like Apex, but no other game really gets my attention. Apex needs to remove cheaters. Valid. B tier deserved for Octane. Yeah. Apex could also really benefit from like, I always thought they could benefit from the Call of Duty, like the way they do it, where they have a multiplayer game and the Battle Royale Warzone. So like if Apex had Titanfall multiplayer and Titanfall game, then you could also maybe translate stuff between Titanfall and Apex, like skins and weapons and leveling stuff. I think that would work really well for the game. It would split the player base a little bit, but I think as a whole, it would make more people play. I don't really like the leveling system for Warzone though. Like I don't like how you have to level guns in order to use them to make them really effective. But I think that would be really good for Apex to have. They need to like expand their ecosystem. Apex needs like an ecosystem, not just Battle Royale. New game called Fragpunk. I actually got invited to play test that. I didn't get around to it though this past weekend. Heard from Leaks devs are planning to make LTM for OG Apex. They've done that in the past. Year 3 anniversary, I think, brought back OG Kings Canyon. Apex Zombies, I mean, I'd be all for it. Like an Apex wave-based, like, fighting off stuff. I think that'd work. Like, you could have Rampart with walls, and, like, the Legends already have abilities. You would have to expand on it, but, like, I think it would actually work. Mechs, too. Yeah, like a Titanfall Battle Royale mode inside of Apex would be cool. Yeah. Respawn should hire me. I have great ideas. Anyway, moving on. Pathfinder. Definitely A or better. If you look at the pick rates right now, Pathfinder is literally on top. So like the pick rates are kind of insane. Like we got Lifeline and Path 1, 2. But if you look at Masters Pred, Path is a 25% pick rate in Masters and Pred. Rev's 20%. These guys almost account for half of the Legend meta, which is absurd. Craziness. I don't know how you balance this though, and also keep it like even for the lower skill players. Because like Bronze is only 8%, Gold's 12%, but Masters and Pred 25% is huge. This might be the highest pick rate of any Legend ever. This might be better than Octane was back in like the way old days. What do we got? We got, who's this here? Wraith 28% in season 8 and 9 in Octane. So he's almost where Octane was way back when he was getting crazy good. Horizon was really good here for a while. So, I mean, Path, I mean, pick rate doesn't necessarily say how good they are. Like, pick rate also revolves around, you know, enjoyment of the game. Like, Masters and Pred players can take full advantage of his movement, which is huge. And his upgrades of the negative 50% damage on zip lines is amazing. Being able to scan beacons or ring consoles and also scan care packages gives you a huge leg up on getting Evo Shield upgrades. I think I'm going to put him in S. Normally I have him in A, but I think as I'm talking through all this, I think he's an S tier pick. Best / meta? I don't know, man. Like, he's an amazing pick, but the thing with the Masters pick rate also is like, it's Masters and Pred players. They can kind of just run down lobbies. Like, they're not trying to grind to get to the rank they want. They have so much skill up there, like, it doesn't matter. Man, what a tough ranking to do. Free movement is king for the meta. Yeah. Mandy made popular Pathbot more popular. Yeah. I think I'll leave him in S. I'll put him like top S. I think God's here is just like, you got to use him. And I don't see that with Pathfinder in terms of ranked viability. I know he's like top Masters Pred, but for the most of us that are playing the game, I don't see him being God tier meta. Isn't meta just what pros use? Not necessarily. I mean, because they play the game in a really different way. They in my opinion, like the way pro players play, and like you see these 3-stack pros running down ranked, I just don't think that's really realistic for how a lot of people play. I could be wrong, but Rampart. I think Rampart's better than all these legends. I don't know if I'd rather have Rampart over any of these though. Who's my favorite legend? Pathfinder. Hitbox holds him back. Very true. Pathfinder's hitbox is huge. You can definitely tell when you get beamed because you are Path. Very, very true. So yeah, we'll leave him there. Rampart, I think, is bottom A. If LMGs were better, she'd be up more. But her passive kind of doesn't really get used just because LMGs are not meta. Her tactical walls are great to fortify up in like ranked and increase her damage output. And her shield is pretty good to not necessarily like kill people with, but shield is pretty good as a utility item. Favorite legend lore wise? Probably Horizon, I would say. How she was like trapped in like a black hole time dilation like field, and she's actually like 75 years old, I would say. Revenant, I'm gonna put, I think I actually put Revan B at the start of the season. For me, a Rev's between S and A. I think a Rev's worthy of an S pick for general play. He doesn't really bring a ton to the team in a traditional standard. Like, he's not going to heal players or revive them. But he does have that overshield, so if he's first going in, he can soak up some damage. He might be top A. We'll put him in S for now. Just PUBG, Apex needs to open solos, duos, trios, quads permanently. Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like there's enough players in Apex for that. Sad lore, but interesting, I agree. Yeah, for Horizon. Caustic's lore is pretty cool, too. Look into that. I've thought about doing a lore video for a while. Seer. So Bloodhound just got a nerf, which makes Seer get a little more room in the meta. I think I had Seer at C at the start of the season. I think Seer's a little overhyped right now. I could be wrong with that as time goes on. I think I'll put Seer in A. I think I would rather have Seer over these two. But I don't know if I really think Seer is going to be better than these for now. Seer easily weak. Like, amazing. Do I think Seer is amazing? Not really. Hard to say. We're so new to like him potentially being a factor just due to the Bloodhound nerf. You know what? Let's put Seer top of great. Again, it really depends on how you want to play the game. Like in comp, when everyone's running bang, smoke, and whatnot, like Seer is really good. But in terms of general play, I don't know if Seer is really an amazing pick, especially in pubs. You don't need Seer in pubs at all. Seer in ranked might be A, but this is an overall like power overall list. I'm gonna put him in B. Seer pro players starting to pick up Seer again. Yeah. If you do base your pick rate, shouldn't. I'm not basing my ranking based off pick rate though. How would I change the meta? I would probably change the weapons. I feel like the legends are in a pretty good spot. I would get rid of all wall hacks though, so I would change Seer and Bloodhound's kit permanently. Crypto, I think, is okay with how he works because crypto scans don't come from him; they come from the drone. So I think that's fine. But I would change wall hack completely and probably change Bangalore smoke in some way. I don't like invisibility and being able to see people through walls. You're right. Where is Gibraltar? Huh. He's not even here. Let's add him. I don't even know how to add him. How do I add a? Someone forgot Gibby. That's funny. I didn't even realize. Yeah, there's only 25 legends. That's hilarious. I'll say where I think Gibby should be at the end, or I'll add a picture. Gibby forgotten, yeah. Make smoke a little more visible. Yeah, maybe. Maybe if it was like 90% concealment. Valkyrie. I think Valk is still an amazing legend. I think Valk's more worthy than these two, especially in ranked. Like if you're a bronze or a rookie through platinum and you're trying to hit diamond, I think Valk can take out a lot of the guesswork of rotations. So I think Valk is good with that. I don't think she has the combat fighting power that she used to and the overall need due to evacs. She used to be up here for a long time. But I'm going to put Valk just as a straight up a amazing legend. Vantage, I think, is not the greatest right now. She's getting a little more use due to the recon changes and just people are kind of exploring her because I think they're bored. But I'll put Vantage top of B. Maybe not top of B. Maybe more lower B actually. I feel like I'd rather have Crypto, Alter, Seer. I think I'll take Vantage over these two. Bro is so big he couldn't load in. Yeah, right. It's below the save download button. Okay, thank you. Watson. I would say Watson is not a pub must-use legend. In ranked, I would say Watson is like the best legend in the game for like really getting wins, playing strategically, and being more thoughtful. But for overall play, I don't think she's needed in that God tier. I'm going to put her on top of S. I think Watson just brings way too much to not value. Like Watson gives teams shields back. Watson can control areas. Watson can stop enemy pushes due to her ultimate. She gets more ultimate accelerants per stack. She can hand those out to teammates. Her passive shield buff just got buffed a little bit. It does 1 shield a second now instead of half. I feel like she just has an incredible amount of use where you can't go wrong with using her really. Let's see. Wraith, and then we'll add we'll add Gibraltar. Wraith is a weird one. I feel like Wraith has a little nostalgia. We're not basing this off pick rates again, but like, I mean, Wraith has actually dropped a little bit. That's funny. Wraith has a lot of nostalgia in her kit. I don't think she's S by any means. I think she's better than great. She's still pretty good. Like her portal can get people around. She can tell where squads are now. Like if squads near you via her upgrades. She can get out of bad situations. I think I'll put her like just above Valkyrie, maybe just below. If you're playing ranked, she's below Valk. If you're playing pubs in general play, I think she's just above Valk. Ray's still A, yeah. Let's add. Let me pull this to the side, and let's add. I'll give you icon. All right. Gibraltar, our guy. Gibby used to be so good for so long. I kind of miss the days where like Mastiff PK, Gibraltar, like Horizon, like bubble fighting. It would have been cool to see Maggie and Fuse come out at the time where Gibraltar was really OP and like their drills and attacks were actually really good back then. Because they could have countered Gibby a little bit more, and I think that would have been cool gameplay to see. We don't really see that anymore. I think Gibby is still a very good pick. I think he's worthy of the amazing slot. I think he's better than great. Ranked, Gibby is insane. Overall play, I don't think you need Gibby that much. I'll put him in amazing. So let's go through this. We got Ballistic, Mirage, Ash, Caustic, Octane, Vantage, Crypto, Alter, Seer. I feel like that's pretty fair. These are the legends, B through D, that I would like to probably see some buffs, tweaks maybe, to make them a little bit better. Amazing, we got Gibby, Rampart, Loba, Valk, Wraith, Catalyst, Horizon, Blood, Newcastle, Maggie, Fuse. Feel like these are the legends where you really can't go wrong with them. Maybe depending on the mode you're playing, it'd be a little bit better. But overall, all these are good picks. S, these are the legends where you really should consider using them regardless of the mode you're playing. Rev, Path, Insane, Pub Fraggers, got Conduit and Lifeline are insane support legends to help you conserve your RP, prevent losses in ranked. You got Watson, who's good at all around, just absolutely controlling the battlefield. And I think Bangalore is probably the best legend in the game still. Smokes can be used for aggressive or defensive purposes, revive your teammates, so a little support in there. Ultimate basically can be used for all those same things. You can get teams to move, you can force yourself to push forward with the ult, and the passive just enhances her movement to allow you to do all those things. So I think this is pretty fair as of right now. I'd love to see changes to these bottom set of legends. Well, we got 9 legends down here that need a little bit of tweaks. So we got 17 legends in Apex that are more than usable. And to be honest, even some of these down here are usable. So what do you think of the legend meta, guys? Be sure to drop a comment down below, and I will let you know what changes happen when next season comes around. Weapons. Time for weapons. This is something that doesn't really change that much. I'd love to see a little bit more variety in the weapon meta. I wish things kind of got buffed rather than nerfed. Everything just keeps getting nerfed. But yeah, I'm biased, but I think Wraith to get her team around to be able to grab Evo Harvests, make her as an S. Yeah. Alrighty, so we had a few changes mid-season 21.1. G7 saw a nerf. G7 saw a buff, 1 damage, and I believe recoil's a little bit easier. Havoc saw a nerf of 4 bullets per mag. What else? There wasn't a ton else. Longbow, I think, got a little buff. Maybe headshot multiplier and fire rate. But that's about it from the top of my head. I don't think there's that much else. 30-30. I don't think the 30-30 is better than the G7 or the triple take these days, but I think it's still a really good weapon at damage farming. That was a great tier list. Thank you. So I think I'll put the 30-30. It's probably going to be like bottom A. In ranked, it's pretty good. In pubs, it's less so. I think I will put it at amazing. There's going to be a ton of guns in amazing, by the way, because a lot of weapons are usable. Alternator, I think, is probably maybe the second best SMG in the game, maybe the third. I don't think the Alternator is S tier because just SMGs aren't that great right now. I think if you get Disruptor, it's probably an S tier weapon, but I find those gold hop-ups are just not available. Like, I feel like I can never find a Turbo or Disruptor, or even Hammer Points. I'm going to put it at Amazing, probably top Amazing, A tier. I think the next weapon has to be able to take arrows. Allegedly, yeah. Hater. Yeah, that's right. Bow check. I don't think the bow check is an S tier weapon just because it's in the care package. It has limited ammo, which I think is a huge problem. Like, if you get the bow check too early on, you're gonna run out of ammo. You're gonna have to drop it. I don't like that at all. I think it's a very good marksman weapon. Definitely better than all the other marksmans, but I don't think it can be an S tier gun simply because of its ammo issues. Car SMG, I'm gonna put just below the Alternator. I know the car has better TTK than the Alternator, but I feel like the Alternator is a little bit more usable. I understood you, Nexus. No worries. So I'm gonna put the car right here. I do think the car is less viable than the Alternator off the drop. Maybe if you get a purple mag, it becomes a little bit better. And they're both fully kitted, but I think the car is just like an okay gun right now. Charge rifle, really strange weapon. Like, if you want to damage farm, it's honestly like an S tier gun. But in terms of like playing the game, I think the charge is just a fine gun. I don't think the charge rifle can be any higher than C. If it comes to end game and you still have this thing, you're in big trouble. So I would say charge to C tier. Devotion, easily best gun in the game right now. I think that's bar none. I don't think that's a controversial pick at all. Devotion can kill 3 players with 1 mag and have a little bit left over. It has the fastest time to kill in the game. So charge rifle got you for the meme. I agreed. Charge rifle is fun. Like, honestly, if you get a charge rifle and you're trying to hit people from like 300 meters away, funness, S, but I put down there. Devotion got you easily. Eva is similar to the bow check for me, where it's like good. The shotguns are just not meta. I feel like I'd almost rather have these over the Eva. Yeah, I don't know. Very like unique scenarios. Like, if you're going into the end game with an Eva and people are like really close range, that circle is shrinking, could be pretty good. I think for general play, I don't think the Eva is like as good as having SMGs. Flatline, I'm gonna put an S. I think Flatline is the best, like the best traditional AR right now. I would say the Flatline is. It's better than the 301. I don't think it's as good as the Nemesis or the Hemlock, but I think if you want that all-around like auto mid-range beamer, I think the Flatline is it. What makes it a Devo Gotcha is it's already fully kitted. Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that. G7 saw a little buff. I think I'll put it just below these SMGs. Definitely better than the 3030 these days. I still don't love the G7 in terms of like its ability to like knock enemies at range. G7 is a little bit more usable at close range than 30. That's nice. It's kind of hard talking about these weapons, I feel like, because they just don't really change. Shotguns are meta if you play Newcastle and Gibraltar. Maybe. I don't know if I agree with that, but Havoc, I would say, is also a god tier gun. From the ground weapons, Havoc's the best gun in the game. I just think that's such an easy pick. Like, it has insane damage per mag, even after its nerfs. Even if you don't get a turbo, it's still very competitive. If you get the turbo, it makes it just a god tier broken weapon. It's just actually ridiculous how the Havoc is better than the SMGs at close range. It just doesn't really make any sense. Hemlock, I would also put in God tier. For me, this is the combo you want these days. Hemlock bridges the gap between like the mid to long range. You can tap fire it, which the Nemesis can't do. It's insane at that mid range bursting. Recoil is so easy. I shoot people off balloons and evacs all the time with the Hemlock because it's such a brainless gun. I think these two are the best guns in the game. This is the combo I want every game, I would say right now. Kraber, I'm going to put top of A. It's a similar situation to the Bocek. I think the Kraber is an amazing gun. The Kraber has never been an S tier weapon ever since you cannot one tap someone with a purple head and purple armor anymore, or blue helmet and red armor. I just don't think it has that same like playmaking capability it used to. It can still be an insane weapon to like get 1,000 damage in a couple minutes, but I think Kraber just can't be an S because it just doesn't have that one tap capability. That's just what the number one Newcastle said. I mean, that's good for the Newcastle, number one. He's probably a little bit biased being a number one in a legend. Probably isn't exactly looking at the whole picture, but L-Star, I'm going to put probably in B. I don't think the L-Star is better than like basically all the other energy guns. L-Star's not bad. Like, it's way better than it used to be, but also not as good as it used to be. Like, it used to be better, and it used to be worse way when the game first came out. I think it's a good all-around, like, LMG. If you're Rampart, maybe it's an A-tier gun. But I think L-Star is B for the most part. Longbow. Definitely more usable than the Charge. I don't think the Longbow is as good as, like, the G7 or the 30. They're very comparable in terms of how they use. I'd probably put it at B. Longbow is like a good, okay, like all-around weapon. I don't think it's an amazing gun though. Unbearable Gamer, what's up? How you doing? Couple shotguns here. We'll do all the shotguns right now. We'll do Mastiff. I'm gonna put an A, probably just under the Eva. Mozambique, I'm going to put in C tier. Honestly, I'd probably rather have a Mozam over a charge rifle for general play. And Peacekeeper, I'm going to put right next to the Mastiff. Now, in terms of these two, I think the Mastiff is a little bit more usable. It's a little bit more forgiving. It's a little bit better if you're going up against multiple enemies at once. The Peacekeeper's a little bit better if you're taking one-on-ones and you need the highest hit secondary. So if you need to swap to it, I would take this. So I think are they amazing though? The word amazing stripped me up a little bit. Or are they just great? I'm going to leave an A. I think they're very good. Maybe the 30 is more worthy of the higher rating over the shotguns. Mozam isn't bad. Yeah, I agree. Mozam, if you get like and I think I do this in my normal seasonal rankings, if you get the hammer points, it's like a B gun. Mozam has the best range out of any shotgun. You get hammer points, you can hit a 60 up to like 45 meters, which is huge. So it's definitely like a B, I would say, with hammer points. More like a C without. Nemesis, I'm going to put an S right behind the flatline. The Nemesis and the Hemlock are very similar. The Nemesis had a nerf a couple seasons ago. The Nemesis doesn't have the tap fire capability of the Hemlock. But if you don't like burst weapons, the Nemesis is like that bridge because you can just hold the trigger down. So for the most part, I think the Nemesis is a really good gun. It's just not quite this level. But if you can't find these and you get this, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with like this combo, to be honest. I like this combo. P20, I think, is the weakest gun in the game. P20 is just the gun I hold till I get another light ammo weapon, which is a little weird right now. I used to always say like the P20 is the attachment holder for my light ammo guns till I find an R301 or an R9. Now that these two guns aren't that good, the P20 gets even less viability in my eyes. Hammer points, again, bump it up a level. But for the most part, it is just a transfer weapon. You're not really looking for this. If you are, I mean, you're probably just trolling or just looking for a fun time. If you base it on the ease of use, Hemlock should be lower. Bro, I'm just ranking the weapons for overall power. You don't need to like try to overanalyze it. We're just having a tier list here. Prowler, I'm gonna put in A. I think the Prowler probably the second best SMG. I think the Volt is a little bit better. The Prowler with a purple mag might beat out the Volt for pure mag size and just overall damage per mag. It might be S. Yeah, we're gonna put the Prowler in S. The Prowler just has too much damage per magazine to make it not worthy of using. You can take out 2 enemies with 1 mag. It's probably the closest to the Havoc in terms of like how they play. Havoc has more range and is easier to use, but the Prowler has incredible damage per mag. Just the time to kill isn't quite as good. R301, I'm gonna put at top of the like A, but not beating the care package guns. This is the gun I always suggest you use if you are struggling with the meta of Apex Legends. If you can't really control these guns, if you're new to the game, this is the weapon for you to use. I would say it's not going to give you the best results. Like it's just not doesn't hit as hard as it used to, but it's so easy. Should the Peacekeeper be higher based on power? No, because I don't think the Peacekeeper is as powerful as these guns. Yeah, Peacekeeper's only good at close range, not an all-around strong gun. Agreed. R9, I think I'm going to put top of B. R9 for the longest time was the God tier and S tier weapon. I just don't think the R9 is worth using. Like, I'd rather have a 301 over the R9, even in a close range. But the R9 at its base mag does just not enough damage. You can't even kill someone with like purple armor with no mag. Blue armor, you can only miss like 1 or 2 shots. If you have a purple mag on the R9, like maybe it's a low A. I just don't think the R9 is worth using. I'd rather have an alternator, way more consistent. I'd rather have a car too. Car has more flexibility and a better damage per mag and easier. 301 needs a buff again. I kind of agree. Yeah, I'd like to see 301 get a damage buff or mag buff or something. Make it a little bit more competitive. Rampage. I think I'll put the Rampage at bottom of A. Rampage is a pretty solid all-around weapon. If you don't like marksman weapons, but you still want to farm damage at range, I think the Rampage is probably the gun for you. The Rampage falters in the time to kill aspect, which makes it a little bit lower. But all around, like if you get the thermites too, the Rampage is a little bit better. Like if you thermite up the Rampage, it's like up here. But I don't love how you need to rely on having one like item in order to make the gun effective. Plus you have to activate it. RE45, I would say, is better than the R9 these days. I think I'd put the RE somewhere around here. I want a car or an alternator over the RE45, but due to the nerfs around the meta, I feel like the RE45 has a moment to actually do something. I think it's better than the shotguns as a secondary. A little bit more usable. I could see a scenario where the Mastiff is better than the RE45. But I think that's a secondary weapon. I think the RE45 is not bad. So, and it's honestly, again, just nothing really had to do with the actual gun. It's just the meta around it. We just keep nerfing everything. I'd love to see like a huge buff to a lot of these guns. Sentinel, I think, is the best sniper in the game. I think the Sentinel is better than, I would say, the G7. It's probably not better than these marksman care package guns, though. The Sentinel is the gun to use if you want the hardest hitting, like, I'm going to get you down on the ground type gun. So I would use the Sentinel for most kind of like damage farming, opening type of engagements. And honestly, a Sentinel charged up off the drop can do 158 to a gray helmet. And that means if they have gray armor, you can one-shot someone off the drop. So if you see a Sentinel off the drop, I would take it because you can really change engagements in big ways. Spitfire, I think, is worse than the Rampage. I don't think it's an amazing gun. Yeah, setting you off drop goes crazy. G7 is still a 33 damage per body shot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these are pretty interchangeable. I mean, it kind of depends on what you prioritize in your skill level. Spitfire, I don't think is amazing in any aspect. I think we'll just leave the Spitty at top of great. You know, if you get it fully kitted, it can be okay. I just don't really want the Spitfire. Like, I'm not going out of my way to get it. I'd rather have all these light guns, personally. Triple Take, in my opinion, is the best marksman. I don't know if it's better than the Sentinel. If you're playing ranked and you want to apply pressure, I think the Triple Take is a better pick than the Sentinel. For like overall playability, like you can shoot players way more often, way more consistent. Downtime's not as bad because you can shoot faster. So I think the Triple Take, probably like middle upper A for general play. Ranked, I would say the Triple Take is somewhere like up here, top of A, maybe even S, depending on how you want to play the game. I think the Triple Take's the best marksman gun right now from the ground weapons. Volt is another S tier pick for me. I think the Volt is better than the Prowler. I don't think the Volt is better than the Havoc by any means. I don't think the Volt is really better than the Nemesis. I would almost rather have like Hemlock Flatline or like Nemesis Flatline. What I usually do is if I find a Volt, I'll do like Hemlock Volt and I'll swap the Volt for the Havoc when I find one of those. Usually what I do. Sometimes I will run like Flatline Volt if I'm trying to play a little bit more aggressive. I'll even do like Nemesis Havoc or Nemesis Volt, but I think the Bolt is a pretty solid all-around weapon. Out of the SMGs, this is kind of like the 301 of the SMGs. Very low recoil, full auto, easy to use. Don't really need attachments on this one weapon either to make it actually worth using. So Bolt all around is good. And then we have the Wingman. The Wingman in the care package was God tier. And I think even until it got the nerfs this season, it's S tier. I don't think it's S tier anymore. I think it just doesn't have enough ammo in its mag, and if you miss one shot, you're kind of not going to get the enemy down. If you're very accurate, you know, if you got aimbot, it could be an S tier gun. I think I would put the Wingman probably around these marksman type weapons. Probably just below here. I think I'd rather have an SMG these days over the Wingman. I'd rather have these longer range guns, which basically do the same thing as the Wingman. Triple Take and the Wingman are kind of comparable in terms of like close range, even in terms of how they can be used. So I would say the Wingman is a good all-around gun. If you base it on power, shouldn't Car be better than the Volt? Like, no, the Volt is better. I mean, the Car has a better TTK, but the Volt has way more aspects to it that I'd rather have. Damage per mag. TTK is very close. Yeah, better damage per bullet. More forgiving. So let me know what you guys think of these legend and weapon tier lists. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you changed differently down in the comments. And if you are hanging out on the live stream, I think that is gonna about do it for today, guys. I appreciate everyone coming by and hanging out. If you are celebrating the 4th of July, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and the weekend's almost here.